Oh, is this actually a match? Oh, this is the next match. So this is Millia versus Kendeep here. So they're starting the next match already over here. And you can see that, yeah, see, using the RC to just keep the pressure going, Alioune is. And so again, both of these characters, their whole goal is to stay in your face and rush you down as much as possible. You see Kendeep with the Eno, the blue Eno, just doing those quick little dashes, you know, like Morrigan in CVS2 or MVC2 or Darkstalkers, you know, to get those quick instant overheads. Millia is just really fast. She's going to be another very chip-like character, but a lot of her mobility comes from the air, and she sets up all the... I mean, look at these combos. And look at this cross-up, and then, hey, I didn't go to the other side. I stayed in the front and attacked you from there. That move where you see Eno slide forward and punch up with the big audio arrow that comes up, that's actually a low attack. And the heavy one is plus on block. She has 2 distances, and she also low profiles a lot of things too as well. But the main gimmick of Eno is that dash, trying to get you into these mix-ups basically. And so you see Kendeep is just really, oh yeah, air throws are going to be important in this game as well. Ooh. Okay, counter hit combo. So the note is really important for Eno, as you can see, as it sets up the pressure like that. The farther the note travels, the more hits it does. So if you do it right next to someone, it'll just hit them once and stop, and you're super negative and punishable. But if you actually let the note have time to travel, it will actually hit multiple times, and once it hits multiple times like that, then you get the pressure. Now again, because there's a lot of quick rising in this game, you don't get as many situations to set up the note as you did in previous games, but that's just the nature of Strive compared to older Guilty Gears. After the blue burst, the other player bursted back. So the player who actually blue burst the first time didn't really get a chance to do anything. It's not even just that necessarily, Nursely. A lot of it just comes down to they have such an expectations of what their characters are supposed to do. Like Anji just can't play that Oki game anymore. He used to just be knockdown into butterfly, knockdown into butterfly. He can't do that as much anymore. And a lot of his combos don't, like he doesn't have long combos. And so it feels like Anji is completely hamstrung and he can't do anything anymore. And so it's a frustration for a lot of players. Like, my character doesn't do what I feel like they should be able to do. I know Guilty Gear is this kind of game, and like Millia can drop the disc on you and she's supposed to get this kind of crazy Oki into big old combos, and you don't get those kind of combos and stuff like that anymore. It can feel weird. However, if you come from Street Fighter, it feels so liberating, like I can do everything, because you're not used to, I mean, look at this. That was sick. That was such a sick combo from Kendeep. And so when you come from the original Guilty Gear, it's tough. It is tough. I can feel it sometimes that, like, when I'm messing with a character that I've played before in the old Guilty Gears, I'm like, man, I can't do half the things that I used to do. But you don't have to do half the things that you used to do. It's a different game. This game is designed to be more neutral heavy. This game is designed to be less combo oriented. You know, I mean, look, you still get some pretty long combos like that. Like, that was a nice combo from Kendeep. 8 hits, though, is a pretty decent combo, but it's not going to be like the 16, 15 hit combo fests that we've had in previous Guilty Gears. That was nice, actually. That was sick. What is happening? He spent 2 meters. You see right there, 2 meters for 2 Roman cancels in 1 combo right there. So, and it was weird. I don't know what Kendeep just did, but he did something, and it looked like he air dash canceled into a blue RC instead of just doing the red RC. I don't know how blue RCs and red RCs and purple RCs and whatever affect combo scaling. So maybe there's a reason to try to do the blue RC version for max damage that Kendeep was doing. Would you say Guilty Gear Strive is similar to how MK11 changed the game a lot? Yeah, not as drastically though. Honestly, I think MK11 was a more drastic change than this game. No, I'm going to take that back. I'm going to take that back because this game has some pretty drastic changes, but it is very similar to what MK11 did. It is very similar. And, but yes, more neutral, less big combos. Yeah, both of them very similar kind of mindset. Yeah, Strive is really different to Exerd. That's the thing. But the fun... God, that was sick! Oh my god! But that's the thing. I'm gonna do this a lot. Yeah, so the thing is... Oh my god! And so, back to the topic at hand. Oh my god! You know, that's basically what I'm gonna be doing watching this the whole entire time. But that's the thing, right? It's really different, but... To the casual viewer, it looks very much the same, honestly. Right. A lot of the creativity is locked behind the meter. But remember, in this game, you gain meter quickly. If you hit someone through the wall, that gives you a lot of meter. Granted, if you hit them through the wall, usually they're almost dead. But don't forget, in this game, you build meter by dashing forward, by walking forward and stuff like that, right? You get meter quickly in this game. And you don't save it. You don't save it for the next rounds. So one of the important things about this game is if you have meter, just spend the meter because you can't take it with you to the next round. It's not like a lot of other fighting games where you keep the meter and so you're like, should I save it for the next round? No, don't save it for the next round because you don't get it in the next round. Dude, the throw super of Ino is super good, dude. It's super good. Oh, man. But, I mean, it's just one of those things that you have to be cognizant of. And, again, so far, for me, I have yet to see... I need to play more to really get the gauge on that. And, yeah, see, he tried to go for the throw there. And, again, it's a call-out. And if you miss it, that's a lot of meter that you've lost, right? So that's crazy. Yeah, the fact that bar doesn't carry over is kind of it's a freeing kind of mechanic, and it's Guilty Gear's always been that way. A lot of times you always have to make these, and trust me, I love resource management in fighting games. I love how a lot of other fighting games are like, should I spend the meter for this, or should I risk saving it for the next round, etc., etc. But at the same time, and shout outs to Free PhD, thank you for becoming general in the Chenzor Dynasty, Sigma Nuts, Cat Butts. I also like that in Guilty Gear it's different, that you don't keep the meter, that you just get to spend it. And yes, you could absolutely disrespect people in this game. There's so much disrespect. And in fact, one of the beautiful things about Guilty Gear and what the Roman cancel system actually adds to it, which is, you know, Blaze Blue has it as well. The Roman cancel system just adds so much freedom and the ability to disrespect stuff because you look like you could be punished, but then you Roman cancel the move, and then all of a sudden you're on offense again. You know, there's so many ways to disrespect people in this game. Absolutely. Yeah, that's right. I wonder if that still happens in this game. Do you know, Blue? Have you actually tested that? Oh, they don't do it anymore? Okay. So with so much offense, how do you block half the stuff? This is where a lot of the character knowledge comes. God! So in terms of Millia, you don't. You get hit. You just have to pray and just be happy if you do block. But this game is very oppressive like this, and once you start learning what the characters are capable of, you just learn to expect. So right now for you, Hoods, because you're not familiar with the character or the game at all, what you're seeing is just like manicness, like what is even happening? But see, even there I got hit by Ino for sure, because oh my god, she just did air super over hair car. That was disgusting. But once you get, so one thing I'll say right now about this Hoods is that Millia and Ino and Chip, so for some of the 3 of the 4 characters that we've seen, are designed to be Like literally, that's what their design is supposed to be. You're not supposed to be able to block these characters very well. That's literally what their strategy is. You'll find other characters that aren't going to be as crazy. Like Soul is more about pressure, rush down, and his command throw. You know, stuff like that. So it just depends on the character. Axel's gonna keep you away. Axel's not gonna mix you up. He's gonna be a classic zoner, for example. Faust isn't gonna mix you up as much. Leo will mix you up. It just depends on the character, but you just have to make sure that you have the option of the characters in mind. You have to know what the characters are capable of, just like in any other fighting game, to help you. And you see right there, normally Millia can't combo off of her overhead, but that's why she's got to spend meter. That's why Millia has to Roman cancel that overhead, just like Samito was doing with Chip. It's the only way to get combos off of their overhead. But again, that's why it's good we don't build too much meter in this game. So for example, that's why the meter is so going to be super important in this game, because a lot of the mix-ups, you're not going to be able to get as much out of it without the meter. Axel is, yeah, pretty much the only zoner right now. Faust is a pseudo zoner. Faust is like a weird hybrid. But yeah, Guilty Gear generally rewards aggressiveness. Like, for example, one of the things that this game has is something called negative pen. Oh, God. Yeah, you might be dead. You are probably dead. Yeah, you're dead. You're dead. There's something called negative penalty in this game. If you spend most of the game holding down back or backdashing or jumping backwards, you'll see a negative penalty warning show up on the screen. And if you keep playing defensive, you lose all your super meter. You just lose it, and then you can't gain super meter for a little bit. That's the negative penalty. And that has always existed in all Guilty Gear games to kind of promote the aggressiveness, the offense in the game. So the game has always been about being aggressive and being having this kind of manic offense in the game. There's literally an anti-turtle mechanic in there. Now, that sounds like if you played Axel, you'd be losing meter all day, but fortunately, Axel, if you keep attacking with him, it doesn't trigger the negative penalty. It's literally if you just jump back, backdash, and crouch block all the time. Yeah, they definitely want this to be more aggressive, so it's nice, actually. The game itself classifies Faust's character type as unique. Yes. Oh yeah, Necromaster. Yeah, there's absolutely a way that just basically destroys you for running away. Oh, what's going on, Jeever? What's going on? Yeah, Axel definitely has the most leniency. Hey, I agree with you, Chocolate Dinosaur. Like I said, Axel 1 is designed with the most negative penalty leniency, and because he's like Dalsum, Axel is Dalsum. He has moves that attack full screen, so you're still hitting buttons a lot. And as long as you're hitting buttons, you don't trigger the negative penalty. Negative penalty is largely from sorry, I just saw something and it just made me think of something else. It largely comes from running, jumping, dashing, trying to run away and escape in those kind of situations, jumping backwards, etc., etc. But also one thing too is that's very different about this game is that you can air block everything now. That was never true in Guilty Gear before. You had to use the green faultless defense in order to air block everything, so that cost meter. Now this is more like Marvel. You can jump and block. What's nice though is that they've made it so that if you air block something, if you land, you get really lagged landing. And then also certain anti-airs like 6P. If you block the 6Ps in the air, you bounce way the hell away. So you actually do not have the opportunity to like make them air block the 6P, like air block a 6P and then get the offense off of that. So they did a good job figuring out ways to balance the air blocking in this game. right? There used to be some moves that were just air unblockable. Well, actually, you could still green block them, right? You could actually still green block air unblockable moves in the previous games. Do you think a lot of the negativity stems from existing Guilty Gear players learning the new system? Yes, Soul Siphon, I do. But also, it's a lot of it just comes from the fact that Guilty Gear, when you've played Guilty Gear in the past, and if you know Guilty Gear, you know the kind of freedom that Guilty Gear has given you. Admittedly, this Guilty Gear here doesn't quite have the freedom as a lot of old Guilty Gears. There's a lot of creativity and craziness in this game, but you don't get the kind of like free-flowing like all over the place. And so I get that a lot of people are frustrated. The nerf to the Gatling system is frustrating for a lot of people. I feel it too, right? It's one of the reasons why I'm playing Potemkin as well, because you don't feel it as bad with Potemkin because his Gatlings were really limited before anyway. So a lot of it does just come from, previous knowledge. If Guilty Gear Strive came out and wasn't Guilty Gear and was a brand new game, and we were in a world where everyone gave everything a fair shot, people wouldn't be thinking they'd be like, whoa, this game is nuts. Look at all the crazy stuff you could do. It's just in comparison to the old Guilty Gear.